Hello guys, today I'm going to discuss with you the biopsychosocial model. 25 years later, I'm going to include the principles, practice and scientific inquiry for this important model. First, let's talk about George Angel's legacy. He wanted from the medical clinician to understand and respond adequately to patients who are suffering from illnesses. Okay, not in one dimension, just the medical or the biological dimension. No, he wants to include 3 dimensions: the biological, psychological, and social dimension for illness. This biopsychosocial model is a holistic alternative for biomedical model. This is the picture for the dimension we discussed in the previous slide. He formulated his model at a time when science itself was evolving from an exclusively analytic, to more cross-disciplinary. What we mean by that, not just a medical staff or doctors who work with this patient. No, let's include the most disciplined we have in this organization or in this hospital toward solve the problem for the patient. Angels championed his ideas as fundamental in theology. He wanted to convert the dehumanization of medicine to include the empathy and compassion into the medical practice. He wanted the empathy to go and to evolve it in the medical practice. Let's discuss the dualism, the reductionism, and the detached observer. Angels gave 3 main strands in medical thinking. The first one, he criticized the dualistic nature of biomedical model separate the body from the mind. The second one, Angel criticized the excessively materialistic and reductionist orientation of medical thinking. Third element was the influence of observer on the observed. The complexity science. There is 2 types of causality: the circular causality and structural causality. Let's talk about this. Angel objected to a linear cause and effect model to describe clinical phenomena. Clinical reality is far more complex. He claimed that the clinical reality is not just cause and effect, it's more than that. The complexity and causality, the one microbe, one illnesses. No, this is one way thinking. No, there is different causes for one illnesses, and this one illnesses will cause another illnesses. There are usually multiple interacting causes and contributing factors. Structural causality, it's one way unidirectional cause and effect relations. Let's talk about the interpretation, language, and causality. Causal attribution have the power to create reality, transform the patient's view of his or her own world. We have to give a good language for the patient to talk about his case. Let's now talk about the relation-centered model. It's a relation-centered model. We talked before about the importance and the influence of the relation between the patient and the clinician the influence of this relation on the treatment process. Okay, patient-centered, relation-centered, and client-centered are approach propose that arriving at correct biomedical diagnosis. The biomedical model think the biomedical diagnosis is only part of a clinician task. Okay, and the angels he's claimed that no, it's not the only rule. You have to solve the psychological issues, to give more empathy for this patient, to create a good relation, because it will influence your process, your work. Okay, the second one, implication of autonomy. Most patients desire more information from their physician. The patient want, the most of patient want more information from their physician to know what their case, what they are suffering, what everything. He want not just from himself information or from his family. Okay, the ideal might be autonomy in relation. If we give the autonomy for the patient who to take the decision, it will might be disaster. No, you have to share the ideas with your patient, and you have to give your opinion and him his opinion, and then it will be an autonomy in a relation. 3. Social mellow. What we mean by mellow, it's environment. It's predictable that environment play a role in any patient case. Okay, there is an social ecological dimension for each encounter. It is not just between patient and physician, but rather an expression of social norms, caring, paternalism, and empathy. The physician who sees his or her role as nothing more than the technical advisor can regard empathy as useless. If we think that as a physician, I don't want more than be a technical advisor, I will see that empathy is useless effort. Okay, now let's move on and talk about the biopsychosocial model and relation